Welcome to day 30 of how to automate your law firm in 90 days. I am Shay Jackson, your AI automation specialist. I help free small and medium sized business owners from mundane and repetitive tasks so that they can focus on business operations that increase profits. In today's video, I am continuing with the legal assistant agent. This is part 2. In this video, I will be adding basic tools to our legal assistant agent. Let's dive in. Let's get started. I am on the N8N platform and currently I am building the legal assistant agent. I will link part 1 of me going over. I didn't build it, do a live build where I went step by step, but what I did was kind of give a demonstration of it. That will be in part 1 that I will link up top. As I mentioned in the intro, for part 2, I am just adding basic tools. And you may be thinking, what does that mean? Well, in future videos, what I will be doing is showing step by step how to build, for instance, an email agent, excuse me, excuse me, a contact agent, a calendar agent. Those will be added to the legal assistant agent as tools, but I need to build them. But for the basic tools, like for instance, Serve API, basic tool, there's no building that I have to do to add it. And there are 2 more tools that I will be adding for this video. One of the things that I do want to show you is the prompt for this agent. Okay. So here I have the role. You are an executive legal assistant who responds to user requests in a professional way with a warm, friendly tone. Today's date and time is, and this is important because ChatGPT doesn't work in current present day. So I put in what N8N provided so that it will have a reference to what is currently the date and time, and you see it over here on the right. Your primary goal is to manage tasks, to manage contacts, emails, calendar events, web searches, and perform tasks for the user you are talking to, and it just gives a reference to who it will be talking to when it answers. Now I have a tools review. So here, and you see I have hash marks right here. You have access to the following tools. Now there's a double hash to show this is like a sub item of tools overview. And these are the 3 that we will be, well, 4 we will be going over in this video. And I'll go back and forth so you can see the tool. The first one necessarily is not added as a tool, it's added as memory. But one of the things that I want to do is give a definition for it. Okay. So starting first, we have memory and context. Remember to use the memory tool to maintain content within the current conversation session. If the user switches topics or requests clarification, reset context as needed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop back because I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you and this is the memory. And let me zoom in so you can see it says memory right here. And this is what's connected. I connected the window buffer memory, which is the easiest thing to connect. And here, all I did was put in the Telegram message chat ID so that it can keep up and memorize and keep memory of the conversations I am having in Telegram. And for the context window length, that means how many past interactions the model receives as context. So 20 interactions on Telegram, the model, the memory, not the model, the memory will have. Okay. So let me go back and then I'm going to go back to I'm going to go back to my prompt. Next, I have calculator. Use the calculator tool for any mathematical or arithmetic calculations. Now, that one isn't added, but I am about to add it now. So I'm going to go back to my canvas, and you see right here for tools, this plus sign means that I can add more tools. But if you notice for chat model, I have a chat model. I have OpenAI that you can't add. It doesn't have the plus sign. You can't add any more models. And then for memory, it's the same thing. There is a SERP API, and I'll go over that. I did mention that one in the part one, but we'll go and I'll talk about it when we go back to the prompt for the legal assistant agent. So in order to add the calculator, what I'm going to do is click the plus sign. This box opens up, and what I'm going to type in is calc. Okay. And here is the calculator. I am going to add it. Now, you may be saying, well, why would we need to add the calculator? Well, a good use case would be, let's say that we're out for dinner and we can't remember what the tip is for a meal. Well, we can use the calculator to give the legal assistant the calculator so that it can help us calculate how much the tip needs to be. And let's use that as an example. So let me grab my phone and we'll test that out. Okay. I'm going to click test workflow. Can you tell me what 25%, the 25% tip is for a meal that costs $42.73? You see it's churning. It went to the calculator. Now it's going up and it's going to give me a message. You see it says workflow executed successfully. And let's listen to the audio.
The 25% tip for a meal that costs $42.73 is $10.68. Would you like any further assistance with your meal plans? The weather forecast for Baltimore, Maryland the 25% tip for a meal that costs $42.73 is $10.68.
Okay. It was going back to, which is a good example. I'm glad it said Baltimore, because in part one, I talked about traveling to Baltimore for a legal conference, and I was asking it if it could tell me the weather for the next few days and also what I should pack. When I'm using Telegram, one of the things that I noticed is once it completes one audio, it'll go to the previous audio automatically and start playing, and that's what happened. But I'm glad that is an example because you were able to see that that's an example of the memory. It wasn't anything that I talked about in this video, but because it was a previous conversation, it was within those 20 interactions, it was able to say and talk about Baltimore. Good job. Okay, so that's the calculator. Now let's go back and look at our prompt. So next we have web and information. For general information queries, use the SERP API to get results from Google search. If the user requests the latest news on specific topics, use the Hacker News tool, use the Hacker News tool to get articles, specify keywords if provided. Okay, so those are two tools that we are mentioning. One is SERP API, which we already have on there, and also Hacker News. So Hacker News is a news channel like it mentions, and what I can do is search for or ask for different articles based on a keyword, and I will show a demonstration of that. The last thing, so for the additional context, you see it has one hash. So I don't have any additional context that I want to reference right now, but we're going to leave it there because as we add agents and tools, I do want to add it to this information. Okay. So the last thing that I want to mention is the response structure. Keep responses concise and relevant to the user's question. Provide additional details if the user asks for elaboration. Otherwise, give direct responses. And I put this here because we don't want our agent to give a dissertation. Okay. What we wanted to do is whatever the user is asking for in a professional way, but with a warm, friendly tone, because we always want to keep our customer service top of mind. We wanted to just answer that question and then that is it. Okay. So let's exit out of here and let's go back to our tools where we are going to add Hacker News. Now, SERP API is here, and this is what we can use to search the internet. In part one, like I mentioned, I asked for the weather, and also I asked about places to eat as well. Okay. That's SERP API, and I'm going to click in here. There's nothing that I really need to add. The only thing that I did have to do, which is what you have to do in when you're using an automation platform like N8N, what holds it together and what makes things function without using code or low code. But all of the things we'll be doing for these videos, for the most part, is no code. It is just having APIs, access to those APIs, having credentials so that you can connect that app. Okay. So going back to my canvas, I am going to click the plus tool again, and I am going to put in Hacker News. Okay. Now, it's saying use the expression, and this is important, and that's why I'm pointing it out, from AI and whatever the name is for any data to be filled by the model. Okay. So for our tool description, we're going to say set automatically. For our resource, we want to put all. Okay. Now for the limit, what we're going to put is we're going to change it to expression, and we're going to put in from $ from AI, like it mentioned, and we're going to put in users request. Okay, so how many ever, or user request, so how many ever like for instance, if the user says, can you give me 3 articles, then what it's going to do is return 3 articles. Whatever the user request is, that is what's going to establish the limit. Okay. And then for additional fields, what we're going to need to do is we're going to add a keyword, and we're going to do the same thing because the user is going to tell us what the keyword is. We don't want to limit it to one keyword. We want to give the user the ability to ask for whatever keyword they want to use. Okay. So I'm going to put from AI. Oh, I forgot the $ from AI. There it is right here. And I'm going to put keyword search. Okay. I forgot to get my single quote. All right. Okay. So again, what we're doing is we're adding Hacker News just in case there's not information that we can get from Google, or specifically we're asking for a keyword. We wanted to go to Hacker News to give us articles. Okay. And in order to get the limit, we're going to use from AI, whatever the user's request is, and also what the keyword is as well. That is it for that. So I'm going to go back to Canvas. I'm going to save it. Let me scroll out a little bit. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, and this is what I mean by basic tools, because all we did was just add it, and you see the plus sign is still there because we have more tools to add. Okay. I am going to pull up Telegram. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask it if he could give me the last three articles about automation in the legal field for the past 6 months. Okay. Let me go back. Okay, you see it's churning. It went to Hacker News. Okay, so let me go back. It's saying bad request. Please check your parameters. Automation in the legal field. So I wonder, let me go back because I don't know why the. Okay, I'm back. I was just trying to figure out what was going on, and it wasn't that there was an issue with my request. There was an issue with retrieving the articles from Hacker News. However, you see it says 4:54 p.m. and here is 4:59 p.m. I ran it again, and these are the articles that it came up with. Here are the latest articles from Hacker News about automation in the legal field. Chatbot lets you print lawsuit forms for suing Equifax for up to 25,000. So if I click read more, here is the article. Chatbot lets you sue Equifax for up to 25,000 without a lawyer. That's pretty steep, 25,000. Interesting. Okay, AI promised to revolutionize radiology, but so far it's failing. A user comment discusses how legal firms perceive the use of automation and AI, especially in the context of contingency work and case specific legal challenges. Okay, and it gives the article. Now, one of the things that I will say is, if you notice as I'm hovering over it, if you look, the date is 2021. So what it looks like is that this isn't up to date information, and what we want is up to date information. So instead of using Hacker News, let me do this. I'm going to say, give me can you give me three articles from the past 6 months about automation in the legal field? And let's see what happens. From, from, if I can type, from the last 6 months about, and I'm going to just say about automation in the legal field. And let's see what it'll do. Now, because I said 6 months, hopefully it goes to CERT API, because that would be the most relevant information based on what we saw with Hacker News. So let's click on, oh, there's some things I have to do. Hold on 1 second. I need to, because what I did was so that I wouldn't have to run the data again that I had already put in. I pinned it, and all that does is it runs the information back through the workflow again. But now, because I'm putting in a new request, I need to unpin it so that it can see my new request. Okay, so I'm going to click test workflow. And let's see. It chose, oh, and you know why it may have chose that? Because the memory, and because it had already had this information. So let me try again. And let's see. Can you search Google? I think I might. And give me 3 articles. Okay, let's see now. There it goes. Now I went to SERP API. Okay, here are the last. Here are 3 articles from the last 6 months about automation in the legal field. Generative AI is transforming the legal industry, and it only gave me one. For more current articles, consider visiting news platforms or subscribing to industry-specific newsletters, or feel free to ask for further assistance. So what that it looks like is this may be the last one for 6 months. Let me do it again. Let me put for the past 12 months. Hold on, let me test workflow. You see it went to SERP API. Okay, here are 3 articles from so that might have been it. But because we're using an agent, definitely we need to see um, integrating AI and automation in legal practices. Okay, AI and legal automation trends and predictions for 2024. And it may have been that there are not a lot of articles that talks about automation in the legal field yet, but it is coming because automation AI agents are here. So those are the basic tools that I wanted to add for part 2 of building the legal assistant agent in N8N. If you have any questions about AI workflow automations, there will be a link in the description box that where you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation with me. Again, I am Shay Jackson, your AI automation specialist. I help small and business owners be free from mundane and repetitive tasks with automations so that they can increase their profit. Have a great day.